Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Digimon World 2. Alright then, let's begin with what I've done during the last little break session I had. First off, I did a little grinding off screen to get the virus type that I've been looking for, and I picked out of all of them to be the Digimon line. So yes, off screen, I didn't think Mythos would digivolve into an ultimate, but it seems that my memory seems to be fading a lot, apparently, because I must have DNA digivolved with Wizardmon first, because Mythos was not level 19. Or it was level... It wasn't 18, it was somewhere around there. So became a Mamimon, and it was able to learn his ultimate before I was able to DNA digivolve him. So this Myotismon will have 2 ultimate attacks. Next up is a whole lot of DNA digivolution went into getting Lilymon. And I mean a lot. Just to get Lilymon, you have to have at least 8+ DP on Togemon. And I kid you not, it was a lot. There was just a lot of instances I just had to just get all the champion moves and just DNA digivolve champions and just added 2 after 2 after 2. It was a tiring thing. Also, somebody else new here is I recruited an Angemon from the video domain, and I gave him DNA digivolved him with the Leomon just to show that. Well, shucks, I didn't even see that he was already maxed out. Okay, so then I'm gonna swap him out for somebody else new then. That was completely my bad. I'm gonna put Angemon on my team, so I got a nice balanced team. Now, also off screen, I picked up 3 new Digimon. Get back. That's for transferring. I picked up an Ikakumon, a Yamamon, and a Shakomon, or Sayakomon, Shakomon. Whatever way. Both English and different countries have different ways of pronouncing it. Now, the reason why I did that is because what we're about to do next requires you to grind those 3. And I didn't want to bore anybody with just doing that. Also, off screen I got Inumamon after using about 8 skateboards. And I got the Megadramon. Dark side attack means foe cannot recover HP. That's actually going to be very helpful to use as DNA material, or bring this guy into a later on domain at about maybe the halfway point of this game, for a reason. Because one boss will spam healing, and no joke, no kidding aside, that boss fight literally fried my first PlayStation, because I was literally up for hours and hours guarding, using my own recovery, attacking, he recovered. It was a nightmare. It ruined one copy of Digimon World 2, and it ruined my PlayStation 1, my first one. And his interrupt is Wing Blade, just an attack standard, doesn't do anything else. Also got Meteormon back up again. Nothing special, he's got the same moves as before. I did manage to pick up a Digimon, but he maxed out, there's nothing else to do. And then we got Shrimp maxed out. I picked up a Numamon, and then I had a spared Ice Devimon. Alright, so now that we've defeated the 3 bosses, we will now be prompted at the gate here. Yes. Also, on a side note, I did all my Digivolutions and item buying at Device Dome. To save roughly 30 seconds between the animation of talking to the guard and making here, it saved up to about roughly 30 plus minutes. Yep. Yes, the archive ship is what the forefathers used to escape File Island. Ooh, interesting, File Island. Oh, I'll also point out there are 3 CG scenes and cutscenes in this entire game. The first one is the opening, the second one is when the archive ship's discovered, and the third one is when we're near the end of the game. Yes, we gotta go find Professor Peyote. We are saluted, and then we have free control. And then boom, we got the order to find the enemy's frontline base. Yes, once we get serious, finding the enemy base will be a piece of cake. And Joy Joy is just casually just walking. Kind of funny that ends up saying we need an antifreeze disc. This actually hints to the next couple of domains we're going to be going into will require some healing items for ailments, because they could actually end up doing so. The problem is antifreeze heals his paralysis. It should have been one to help clear out different ailments, because of the dungeon we're going to is a different ailment that be afflicted. Yep. Yeah, it's no fair. He doesn't get to check their ID. Talk to the guard. What does he say? Yep. Yep, still. Halt, alto, ID check. Yep. Still the same. Yeah, it's very annoying. It is still gonna say the same. Alright, so let's check real quick. I want to double check. No. We gotta progress a little bit further on. At some point, we're gonna get to the point where we can probably get a metal Mimimon, if memory serves me correctly. Okay, so Professor Peyote is actually the Digimon specialist that resides in Device Dome. This guy right here. Alright, first off, this guy gives a heavy Lieutenant Surge feel. His name is Gus Get'em, because he's a Digimon hunter. Yep. So then, normally he's in the DNA Digivolution lab, but for right now he is scripted to be in right where this gigantic Digibeetle tank is. Why can't we write something this nice? Need to know the location of the archive ship. Now, he gives us... This is where we need to pretty much get the Yamamon, Shakomon, and Ikakumon. Now, doing this from past memory, I accomplished 2 things. One, I saved you guys some time and boredom of not watching me just run through the domains to find these guys. We've all encountered these enemies, and I did point out that coming back to get these guys for a later on event. And 2, I already have them in my digital line, or with me in my Digibeetle. So the next X will tell me Yeah, he's actually a test. Yeah. Yeah, Ben Oldman is... Yeah, he knows a lot, but he's not very easy. He's kind of like your uncle that's pretty much bent on being a biker. No offense. I'll try to put a different way to say it. He's like the loner type of guy. That's what I meant. He's a loner that pretty much he lives on his own. Doesn't like where he doesn't go anywhere, and by all means, his character and his background is really neat. He's actually one of the hardcore Digimon tamers. He's also an original Blue Falcon member, which is also another reason why I picked the Blue Falcon. Yep, get him, Digimon, get him. Now, the third thing I forgot to mention before I got cut off by the end of what Professor Payate was talking about. The third thing is when you go to talk to this guy, he charges you 1,000 bits to tell you the location of all 3 Digimon. That's if you are new to the game and you're not that well with memory for memorization. I know some players that play this have trouble remembering every single Digimon that occurs, and some of them have a photographic memory that remembers every single one from floor 1 to floor 7. Now then, the next thing we have to do is we got to report back to the Blue Falcon Leader. Yeah, I can't talk today. Okay, so we're still going to be having the check. And also after this one, there's going to be also another crisis we have to tackle. Yeah, this is scripted, I'm not moving. That's right, he was also the previous or ex-Blue Falcon leader. And 3, 2, 1, 0. Yep, it's this guy again. Yep. Yes, the strange sickness that's going around with Digimon. Yep, items disappearing from the main server. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'll summarize this. The Blood Knights are consistent. The Blood Knights Digimon are wild Digimon essentially put onto slavery, so to speak. Which means they're still wild. They're about as wild as a tiger that pretty much hasn't had food for 3 days and is about ready to bite your neck off, so to speak. Yeah. So essentially, it's turning into like the bubonic plague, and it's affecting every single Digimon. Yes, for you that are squeamish for punishments and other orders, grab a seat. Yeah, no Coliseum matches either. Now here's where we get to the more tedious part. We're kicked immediately out. If you go back to there, you're going to be kicked out immediately by the guard. The next thing to do is actually leave the city and go to Device Dome. and talk to a specialist. Now, also, one other key little thing to note is also because it's the Blood Knights. And once we complete this little side quest, it'll also explain an interesting bit that also ties in with the lore of the Chaos Lord, actually. That bit I actually found more interesting than the actual whole entire crisis. Yeah, so after the whole event, he's back here. Yes, just like our DNA is set in structures of X and Y, the Digimon DNA is in structures of 1s and 0s of binary code. Yeah, I just got done saying that. So he examines it, and it's incredible because it actually shows the mutation because we were exposed to the Blood Knights Digimon. Their instincts are going wild because they're changing. The DNA structure is who they are. If that changes, then yeah. Believe it or not, this actually was way over my head back about 10 years ago. Now I can fully grasp and understand this. Need patches from strong-willed Digimon that could resist becoming wild. This is essentially like getting the flu shot, but you need 3 patches to make that quarantine patch. Okay, so we need to find 3 strong-willed Digimon. So let me ask you, what place comes to mind where you can find strong-willed Digimon? It's gotta be someplace we know, someplace where it's deep out of nowhere, completely isolated from the world and domains. If you guys Meditation Dome, then you get yourself a nice shiny little cookie. Alright, first off, to begin, we need to talk to Angemon to get the digital DNA structure of this place. Now then, we're gonna go this way and we're gonna need an item, so I will be right back. Alrighty, I completely forgot to pick up an item that we need for this guy. This is a Clockmon. When you first talk to him, you'll need to get a Digivice, and if you have a Digivice, you'll just go straight to it. That's 1 down. Now the second one will bore you, so I'll say right now when we begin. It's a Wergarumon, and you have to ask for DNA digital patch. You gotta meditate with him. Got any snacks, buddy? Wonderful weather we're having. Oh, my feet are falling asleep. Don't worry about me. Let's just keep on meditating and all that. Okay, now, here's the thing. If you say no, you're going to go straight back to another 30 seconds of meditation. Pick yes. Alright, so, yeah, if you pick no endlessly, you're just going to end up looping for 30 seconds, more to a minute. We only got 2 patches, but we need a virus-type Digimon. Yep, so Ogremon is gone. Okay, so the Ogremon knew the girl before. Actually, back before when we hit about after, say, the Blood Knights appeared, there was an Ogremon where the Glockmon was. And it talked about meeting a tamer. And that tamer happens to be in Device Dome. It's an unlikely member. It's Kim. Yep, now we got the virus patch. Got the patches of all three. It'll create the wild code, which is essentially... Yeah, she's still fantasized by all that. Now, the wild patch is essentially... It acts as like it acts like a miniature Reaver, supposed to. So it's like automatically we're good, we're quarantined, we're clean. Also, now that we have the wild code, we will no longer have junk parts added to our inventory every time we leave the city. Which means now we can, delete all 5 of those. You have no idea how much that was badly eating up my whole entire inventory. Okay, now we talk to the guard. Yeah, it says, maybe. Now we go in and we talk to the Blue Falcon Leader. Yep, and he comes in a long walk-in just for 1 sentence. Yep, the Blood Knights have struck again. It looks like it's the return of the Blood Revolt. Now then, the Blood Knights have been seen again, which means they reappear in 3 more domains, which means now BIOS, Web, and Drive Domain have become reactivated. Also, we are now under Code Yellow. Yeah. Now, the reason why it's put down to Code Yellow is because Digital City is not near where the 3 domains have been reactivated. It's still on caution, but it's not on... Oh, they're right next door to us. Ah, ha 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 ha. You know I'm gonna be going for this one, guys. A Garurumon for a Magna Angemon. Okay, little info about that Magna Angemon. It has HP recovery, and it has Magical Tail, which is Piximon's attack. Yeah. Yep, Joy seems to know where old Ben is. Also, she is... You could be able to talk to her right after the events have happened, but unfortunately, Joy is not here. Joy left out for the dungeons where the Blood Knights have been seen. As you can see. Yep, they treat Digimon like tools of wars and weapons rather than partners. Yep. Okay, the domains are going to be bigger and nastier, so to avoid having an hour-long segment, I'm going to be cutting it after talking a little bit about these 3 domains. BIOS domain has been reactivated, Web's been reactivated, and Drive has been reactivated. We're going to go in the same order that I cleared it before, which is first BIOS, Web, then Drive. Now, to clear out of this part, I want to finish up my theory about the whole Blood Knights causing all the Digimon's wild code to go off span and into a berserk gene. Now, it's causing it to mutate and evolve. All living beings have the capability to evolve as they are to adapt. However, there's also cases where it can cause mutations of being in an environment or different forms of encounterment. And it is very real, and us human beings go through this every day. Whether it's from everyday lives to the jobs we work in, the schools we go to, the learning environment, work environment, living environment, and even the whole planet we live on. It's just something that, after a while, it just made me go back and rethink about all this. And this is what I enjoy about the Digimon series games, is because they actually make me go back and think about the prospects of life and with evolution. So, I'm done ranting for this part. I apologize for that ranting. So then, the return of the Blood Revolt on part 21. Until then.